they are so much they have so much pride in their heart. They think that everything happens because of their own effort. So these are some of the points, Prabhuji. I think we could extract, and maybe other people can participate, please.
See, let us first discuss and understand that what is the, persons with this tendencies, what kind of mindset they have. I was hearing the Prabhupada, one of the prominent disciples, His Holiness Radha Govind Swami Maharaj. Many, many years back, he gave many series of lectures on Bhagavad-Gītā. And Maharaj was saying that we must repeatedly study the 16th chapter to evaluate that whether our demoniac tendencies are changing or we are still persisting. We are making a show of devotional practice, whereas in the heart, we are still persisting with these demoniac qualities. Okay, so I want to, if you are okay, I want to start with 16th verse, because Krishna is speaking here. I don't remember from where we discussed. But from 16th verse, Krishna is saying that what is the destination of the demoniac people? Okay, so I will take with the 16th verse, and within 2-3 sessions I'll try to complete this. Maybe today, tomorrow, and day after I will complete this chapter, because we have been stuck in this chapter for a very long time. So one of the inner understanding of the demonic people is that they are never having clarity in life. They are thoroughly confused. And how to know that? It is Anek Chitta Vibhranta, 16th verse. Mohajala Samavrita Prasatta Kam Bhogeshu Patanti Narke Ashucho. Anek Chitta Vibhranta. Their chitta, their consciousness is not just bewildered. That is the normal way that the 3 modes influence the jiva, that it gives bewilderment. But the demonic people, they are not just bewildered, they are vibhranta. They are much more complicated. So they are completely perplexed. Why? Because mohajala samanvita. Because they have in their chitta, they have such desires to enjoy material existence that they are entrapped by the illusionary energy to the highest degree of disillusionment. So they are vibhranta and mohajal. There is a network. Jal, you understand, is right? Jal is a trap. So how they are trapped? They are trapped by their desires. There's no one else who is going to create trouble for us in this material existence. It is only the foolishness of the jiva who is making so many plans. He is absorbed or engrossed in plan making. His consciousness is completely deluded by desires. And that desires only create mohajal. Moha means illusion and jal means network. So he's caught in the network of illusion. His consciousness is completely ridiculed. He does not have any clarity what he should do and what he should avoid. Why? Prasakta kama bhogeshu. Asakta means one who has attachment. Attachment means that his mind and his senses are very much absorbed or inclined for that sense pleasure. But prasakta is again even a higher degree. in Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a reference that when the senses contemplate on the sense objects, the sense object enters the mind. Of course, that is what we see. The sense object enters the mind. That is why we contemplate on the sense object. That is one. That is called attachment. That the sense object enters the mind. But when the mind enters the sense object, so there is a network. You understand? It is two-way. The sense objects have entered the mind and the mind has entered the sense object. Then it is very difficult. That is prasakta. And what is that network? Kama bhogeshu. He is too strongly attached to sense enjoyment. And such a person, patanti narake ashucho. So if we do not cultivate detachment, then this is the natural outcome. Is prasakta kama bhogeshu. Thus perplexed by various anxieties and bound by a network of illusion, they become too strongly attached to sense enjoyment and fall down into hell. So their existence is already hellish. How? Can anyone explain why their existence is already hellish? Even before leaving this body, they are already into hellish life. Why everybody is video off? There's Shil Prabhu, why your video is off? Ganesh Prabhu, why your video off? If you have video off, I will not come from the class for tomorrow. I don't have so much of time to it. I am sacrificing my study. This is completely impersonal way. And you cannot cultivate bhakti in the impersonal way. We are studying Bhagavatam. What to say? This is complete disregard for the speaker of being video off. Why did you do video off there, Shil Prabhu?
I was with my daughter, so she was crying actually.
Where is your wife?
She was cooking, Prabhuji.
Huh?
She was cooking.
But you should know the timetable. I am so impelled for other services. You ask Devashish. But I give that up so that we can discuss. If we don't discuss, then this network of illusion will continue. I will take class from tomorrow 8 to 9. That's it. Because it's very difficult for me to, manage all things. The time is less. So you kindly be prepared for that. If you are all willing and wanting, then I will join. Otherwise, okay, you can do your own way. See what Krishna is speaking so many times, but it does not enter our mind and intelligence. It does not touch, it does not penetrate our intelligence. We don't even, agree to what Krishna says. What to say of applying. Why? Because this is mohajal. We are caught in this network of illusion. We have to bring focus. Otherwise, it will not enter. The purpose of study is to change our perception, and through the perception, to change our priorities in life. And if we do not do that, then we remain where we are. Then there is no change. There is no question of any advancement. So I will not take the full purport. You can study on your own. I will take the middle part, you see. So Prabhupada says, this is in the middle of the big para. The first para. It says that demoniac person believes in the strength of his personal worth. This is the difference between a devotee and a demoniac person. Devotee means, where does he believe? Where is his belief system? Yes, Ravindra Prabhu?
The devotee is always depend on Supreme Lord.
Yes,
believes in
Supreme Lord through his representative.
Yes.
The devotee means he's dependent. He's not independent. And demoniac means independent means he's depending on himself, on his own ability. Not in the law of karma. According to the law of karma, a man takes his birth in a high family or becomes rich or very well educated or very beautiful because of good work in the past. The demoniac thinks that all these things are accidental and due to the strength of one's personal ability. They do not sense any arrangement behind all varieties of people, beauty, and education. Anyone who comes into competition with such demoniac man is his enemy. There are many demonic people and each is enemy to the others. That is why we see that in this so-called DNA age, there is hardly any relationship between any two humans. Relationship of love, relationship of trust, relationship of sacrifice, relationship of service. No, nothing. Why? Because he's always in competition. Competition means enmity. And this enmity becomes more and more deep between persons than between families. See when Prabhupada has written this. Prabhupada did not give this purport in 5, 10, 15 years back. These purports were given in 1960s. How many years back?
60 years back.
60 to 65, 70 years back. And at that time in Indian culture, India had just gained independence. There was no such enmity between families, within families, in society, and at last between nations. So as individuality and ability and belief in one's own self increases, this problem is going to further aggravate. More and more people are going to be behaving like demoniac. Each demoniac person thinks that he can live at the sacrifice of all others. Generally, a demoniac person thinks of himself as the supreme God. And a demoniac preacher tells his followers, why are you seeking God elsewhere? You are all yourselves God. This is also Mayavad. Soham. I am the same. Whatever you like, you can do. Don't believe in God. Throw away God. God is dead. These are all demoniac preachings. The Prabhupada is saying, Prabhupada is giving the example in the next paragraph of demoniac man in the form of Ravan. What Ravan was thinking? Ravan was thinking that he can access the heavenly planets, the heavenly pleasures in this body, in this human body, human-like body. Prabhupada is saying the best example of such a demoniac man was Ravan. See in the next paragraph. He offered a program to the people by which he could prepare a staircase so that anyone could reach the heavenly planet without performing sacrifice. So if we are not performing sacrifice, this is the distance. This is the difference between demoniac and divine. That the divine voluntarily sacrifices. What he sacrifices? His own comforts, his own conveniences, his own so-called pleasures. Whereas the demoniac, he wants to amass. He offered a program to the people by which they could prepare a staircase so that anyone could reach the heavenly planet without performing sacrifice, such as prescribed in the Vedas. Similarly, in the present age, Such demoniac men are striving to reach higher planetary system by mechanical arrangement. So Prabhupada is comparing. These are modern Ravans. Who are this class of modern Ravan? They call themselves astronomers or scientists. They are the same. Mentality is the same. These are examples of bewilderment, mohajal. The result is that without their knowledge, they are gliding towards hell. Here, the Sanskrit word mohajal is very significant. So we should try every day to try to come out of this jala, this mohajal. And where is this mohajal coming from? It is coming from our impure mind. And from impure mind, what comes? Comes impure desires. And from this desire comes this jal. So jal means net. Like fish caught in a net, they have no way to come out. So this is the destination of a demoniac person. And what is their intrinsic nature? Or what is their characteristic? It is mentioned in the 17th verse. Atma sambhavita stabda hanamana madanvita yajante nam yagnaste dambhena vidhi purvakam. So they are Atma Sambhavita. Atma Sambhavita, Prabhupada translates as self-complacent. Self-complacent means they don't want to improve. So as soon as we think that, I am sufficiently, advanced, or I am sufficiently well settled, that means self-complacent. Then they are stabda. Stabda means impudent. Impudent means that they are not willing to change. Why? Dhana mana madanvita. They have this false pride. What is the false pride of? Dhana. That they have resources, they have money. False prestige. Man is false prestige. And madanvita. Mada means madness. Madness comes from where? Ignorance and illusion. Self-complacent and always impudent, deluded by wealth and false prestige, they sometimes proudly perform sacrifice in name only, without following any rules and regulations. This is very important. Another characteristic, the intrinsic characteristic of a demonic person is that he will not follow the rules and regulations. Ask him to send a sadhana card, it is not possible. 1 or 2 days he will send, then again discontinue. Why? Because the nature is hypocrisy, pretension. Why? Thinking themselves all in all, not caring for any authority or scripture. Who can follow? Only that person can follow who is pure. Only pure person can be submissive. Impure person cannot be submissive. He will always be challenging. He will always be rebellious. He will always be arguing. Why? Because he thinks, this is what he thinks, that he thinks himself all in all. Why should I follow him? Not caring for any authority or scripture, the demonic sometimes perform so-called religious or sacrificial rites. And since they do not believe in authority, they are very impudent. Impudent means that they are very stubborn. So what to do with such people? Leave them. Only then when they will get the slaps of Maya, then maybe they can come to their senses. That may take many lifetimes. This is due to illusion caused by accumulating some wealth and false prestige. This is another reason that is why Kunti Maharani says she is praying that what is the prayer? That she does not want.
Janma Aishwarya Sutasya.
Yeah. Yes, bro. What is the first line?
Janma Aishwarya Sutasya.
Janma Aishwarya Sutasi.
Janma Aishwarya.
Yeah. Admana Madha Puman. This is Madha. Madha. Madanvita. Janma Aishwarya Shuta Shridhi. Janma means higher birth. Taking birth in an aristocratic family. Aishwarya means opulences, wealth, richness. Shruta means higher education. And Shribhir means beauty. That is why she is diagnosing that Janma Aishwarya Shruta bhi Edamana Madha Puman. So one cannot have, that is what Krishna said, Bhog Aishwarya Prasakta Nam Taya Apritchetasa. So that is why Krishna, for his devotees, he does not give them wealth. Does not grant them very high education. Why? Because there is all possibility. Unless and until he is very advanced, he will be inflicted by pride. And pride means illusion. This illusion is caused by accumulating some wealth and false prestige. Sometimes such demons take up the role of preacher and mislead the people and become known as religious reformers or incarnation of God. There are so many TV gurus or YouTube gurus. And there is mass following, millions of their disciples or subscribers. Now that they don't need disciples. Now the new nomination of disciple is subscriber. The YouTube gurus. So what they will do? They take up the role of preachers, mislead the people, and become known as religious reformers or incarnation of God. So some are coming now. New people are coming, declaring themselves as special incarnation or specially empowered. And foolish people, they are just vying to just get their one glance or be with them in their satsang. They make a show of performing sacrifice, or they worship the demigod or manufacture their own god. Common men advertise them as God and worship them. And by foolish, they are considered advanced in the principles of Buddhism or in the principles of spiritual knowledge. They take the dress of a renounced order of life and engage in all nonsense in that dress. There is a one nice story in Chaitanya Bhagavad. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur calls them as Dari Sannyasi. Dari Sannyasi. Dari Sannyasi means a hypocrite. So most people, those who you will find in today's world, they qualify on these parameters. Hypocritical. In a sense that they will not apply what they are preaching. So Krishna has told they are already Mithyacharis. The third chapter Krishna has already spoken. They are Mithyacharis. Actually, there are so many restrictions for one who has renounced this world. The demons, however, do not care for such restrictions. They think that whatever path one can create in one's own path, there is no such thing as standard path one has to follow. So this is the main deficiency of a demoniac person, that he will fail to follow. His mind will be so impure that he will be stuck in this mohajal and he cannot come out of the mohajal. Again and again he remains in the mohajal. Why? The reason Krishna has very deeply diagnosed prasakta kama bhogeshu. So Prabhupada is saying that if one is following the right path, what he has to do, there has to be restriction. There has to be sacrifice. But demons cannot do that. The word avidhi purvak means a disregard for the rules and regulation, especially stressed here. Dambhena avidhi purvakam. So one who is not following, what is the reason behind that? Is dambha. Dambha means is false pride. One who is more influenced by false pride, that is false ego, again he will also fail to follow. He cannot follow. How the false ego works, so many times I have discussed. Anyone remembers how the false ego works? Anyone remembers? How the false ego works? Prabhupada has said in this introduction that false ego is very subtle. It does not have a physical existence. There is physical existence of mind and intelligence, comprising of the subtle body. The false ego means I am. What am I? I am this body. And what is the body? The body is the means for my enjoyment. So how the false ego manifests? It manifests through the means of the mind and the senses. Also speech. There is one verse in Srimad Bhagavatam where it is being explained by Kapil Dev. Let me see if I can find those words. Anyway, these things are always due to ignorance and illusion. So what is the further result of such demoniac nature of pretension, of pride? Krishna explains in the 18th verse. Ahankara balam darpa kama krodam dasanshita mamatma paradeheshu pradvishanto abhyasuyaka. So ahankara. So the network is being created through the mind, and the mind is connected to the false ego. And false ego is the most prominent covering on the soul. How the soul is put into, how the soul is trapped, it is through the medium of false ego. The first covering that the pure soul gets in material existence is of false ego. So this demoniac person is ahankara balam darpa, bewildered by false ego. See the bewilderment. It is not just at the level of mind. It is so deep. It has gone to the extent of false ego. Such persons we cannot change. Our lives will change, but such person, demonic person, cannot change. We need an Uttam Adhikari. That's what Prabhupada did. When he was entering America, he is praying to Krishna that these people, they are completely bewildered and perplexed in the mode of Rajas and Tama. They are thinking that they are in a state to enjoy. So how can I change them? How can my word enter the consciousness of such people? But because you have made me come here for your mission, so you please empower my words. Please, sometime, please go through that Prabhupada's prayers of Markine Bhagavad-Gītā. How Prabhupada is desperately praying to Krishna. And we think we have become preachers. We can change people. Or we can make them, take to devotional process. Not easy. See till what extent the jiva is inflicted. Bewildered by false ego. Strength, pride, lust, and anger, all anarthas. Big anarthas. Demons become envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in their own bodies as Paramatma and the bodies of others, and blaspheme against the real religion. That is what Krishna says. 4 types of people cannot come to me. You remember that verse from the 7th chapter? So Krishna is saying 4 types of people cannot take my shelter. From the degree, from the lower to the higher. Which verse is that? Yes, Boliye. Ramya Madhuri Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, 7.16.
Yeah, what is the verse?
वर्ष तो याद नहीं है प्रभुजी पर नराधमा.
Namam Dushkritino Mudha. The first level is those who are foolish. Namam Dushkritino Mudha Prapadyante Narādhama. The second level is Narādhama. Narādhama means, foolish means he is not having any intelligence or any understanding. And Prabhupada compares the foolish with a donkey, like donkey. Donkey, why is considered to be the fool? People call, if somebody is to be called fool, what is it compared to? It is compared to an ass. And people feel insulted. Don't compare me to an ass. Ass means you are making me a fool. Why the ass is considered a fool? Because there is grass everywhere. He can satisfy his hunger by having grass anywhere from the field. But he is so foolish, he is thinking that if he does not carry the load of his master, the washerman, he will not get grass. And in one of the stories, the devotee was saying, he is so foolish, he is thinking that he can marry the daughter of the master and enjoy with her sex. So he is willing to carry such load. That is the gross materialist. He is so foolish. Entire life he is carrying the load. Second is Narādhama. Narādhama means normal people who may think very pious, that they are very pious. But where is the deficiency? They don't follow the rules and regulations. The one who is not doing sadhana bhakti, one who is not following rules and regulations, where does he stand? He is adhama. That means he is fallen. Fallen from where? From the human platform. That is why to remain on the human platform, Srila Prabhupada gave us 4 regulative principles. Krishna says, these are the regulative principles for freedom. Freedom from where? Freedom from illusion, from the network of illusion. As soon as we break the 4 regulative principles, what is the effect? We are out of association of devotees. As soon as we break the four regulative principles, we are out of association of devotee. And as we are out of the association of devotees, we cannot follow any rules and regulations. Gradually, our chanting becomes less and it becomes very difficult to chant. Chanting becomes so distasteful. It becomes so big burden. Whoever is not hearing, whoever is not associating, he is just pretentious. He cannot chant. He's lying. And you will see within few days, he will be gone. He will be lost. Yet Krishna is diagnosing. Why? Because of his false ego. Ahankara. A demonic person, being always against God's supremacy, does not like to believe in the scriptures. He is envious of both the scriptures and the existence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is caused by his so-called prestige, that is ahankara, and his accumulation of wealth and strength. He does not know that his present life is a preparation for the next life. Not knowing this, he is actually envious of his own self. So what does a demonic person do? When he harm anyone else, he is in illusion. He does only harm to himself. Your profile is good. Not knowing this, he is actually envious of his own self as well as of others. He commits violence on other bodies and on his own. So the second is Narādhama. We were discussing Narādhama. Narādhama means one who does not follow the rules and regulations of the scriptures. Those who are not following the four regulative principles, those who are not chanting, those who are not offering prasad. So what are these? They may seem like in this human form of life, but they are adhama, they are fallen. And the third Krishna says is Maya Apridhyanam. Outwardly, they may look like very, very learned people, very intellectual people. Somebody said artificial intelligence. So what is artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence means that they are the controllers. So these are people who have done scientific so-called innovations or inventions. So their intelligence is already taken away. How their intelligence is taken away? Because they don't believe in the existence of God. Or they think that they can become God. They are Maya Apridhyanam. Their Gyan is already stolen by Maya, by the illusionary energy. Krishna very beautifully says in the 9th chapter, Mogasha, Moga Karmana, Moga Jnana Vichetsasa. Why? Because Rakshasim Asurim Cheva. Prakriti Mohini Mashita. I think it is 9.11.
Prabhuji, 9.12.
Okay, 9.12. Today we were discussing in our Bhagavatam discussion that Krishna has 3 switches. Smriti, Jnanam and Apohanam. From Krishna comes all remembrance. Matta Smriti, Jnanam, Apohanam cha. Jnanam is knowledge, Smriti is memory, and Apohanam is forgetfulness. 15th chapter, 15th verse. Which switch he will apply when, to whom, we don't know. We have to constantly practice. So the fourth, so it is very different. It is easy to convert a foolish to take to devotional practice. Why? Because his senses and mind are affected. But as the degree deepens, it is very difficult. And the last is the Rakshasi, the Namam Dushkitino Mudha Prapadyante Narādhama Mayapidyanam Asuri Bhavam. So this is the Asuri Bhav. What bhav is there? That ahankar balam. Ahankar balam. He commits violence on other bodies and his own. He does not care for the supreme control of the personality of Godhead because he has no knowledge. Being envious of the scriptures and supreme personality of Godhead, he puts forward false arguments and against the existence of God and denies the scriptural authority. Few months back, we went to South India. And when we went to Rameshwaram, we could clearly see the Ram Setu. Even after so many thousands of years, we could clearly see how that road is entering the ocean. To some extent, we went on that road. We could clearly see. And there was the chief minister of Tamil Nadu who was very blatant. He said, who knows Ram existed? What is the proof? Where is the proof that Ram was there? What is Ramayana? Ramayana is just imagination. He is no more. He is out. He died. But these are the examples of such demoniac people. And such people will be in power in Kali Yuga. Why? Because they are so envious of God and they don't want to accept the authority of God. So they impose themselves as God. And mass of men, they are so foolish that they will start worshipping them as God. What was his name? K. Karunanidhi or something like that. An old fellow, even when he was in grave, he was wanting to become the chief minister. None of his body organs were working, but still he was so attached that he could not want to give up his chief ministership. After being chief minister for so many years, so many tenures, but still his desire to occupy that post and position was not fulfilled. So this is ahankar balam darpa, kama krodha cha samshrita. Samshrita, it comes from the, we have ashrita. Ashrita means one who takes shelter of the Supreme Lord. And samshrita means one who has taken shelter of lust. Kama krodha. He thinks himself independent and powerful in every action. He thinks that since no one can equal him in strength, power, or wealth, he can act in any way and no one can stop him. If he has any enemy who might check the advancement of his sensual activities, he makes plans to cut him down by his own power. So this will continue. The latest example is the war between Ukraine and Russia. It's still continuing for many years. They will fight. Just fighting for why? Because of trying to fulfill the false ego of one person. He has put two nations at war. He has ruined the life of so many millions of people. So such people, very interesting how Krishna treats them. What is the destiny for them? So Krishna says in the 19th verse, Tanaham Vishita Krura Samsareshu Narādhama Shipami Ajasram Ashubhan Asureshu Evyonishu. So Krishna says, Tan aham dvishta kruran. For such people who are envious, dvishta, it comes from the word dvesha. And krura means they are cruel. Both they are envious and they are cruel. Prabhupada says cruel is mischievous. Samsareshu Narādhama. So they will perpetually rot and remain in the cycle of this samsara, ocean of material existence, ocean of birth and death. Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, Narādhama, I perpetually cast into the ocean of material existence into various demoniac species of life. Asureshu ev yonishu. Yoni means species. And which species? Or in the which womb? Asureshu, in demonic. So again and again, they will remain in the demoniac species of life. Prabhupada said in this verse, it is clearly indicated that the placing of the particular individual soul in a particular body is the prerogative of the Supreme Will. The demonic person may not agree to accept the supremacy of the Lord, and it is the fact that they may act according to his own whims. But his next birth will depend upon the decision of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and not on himself. None of us know that what will be our next life. Of course, if we sufficiently become devotee, then we know what is our next birth. Our next birth can be in the spiritual world. We can be freed from material existence. Already Krishna has explained that. Krishna explained that in the 12th chapter. Where did he say? Tesham aham samuddarta mrityu sansar sagara. Chiramina bhava Pāṇḍava. You see in that verse what Krishna is saying? That one who is always constantly engaged in serving me, for him, I am the swift deliverer from the cycle of birth and death. See in the 12th chapter, it is the 6th verse or the 7th verse. Those who are performing devotional service, Krishna is giving this assurance. 6th and 7th, both. Ye tu sarvani karmani mai sanyasya matpara ananyeva yogena mam dhyayantu patate tesham aham samuddarta mrityu sansar sagara. Krishna is saying, but those who worship me, giving up all their activities unto me and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service and always meditating upon me, having fixed their mind upon me, for them I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. That is what Krishna does for a devotee. He comes and he personally carries them out from this material existence. But those who are demoniac, who deny his authority, so Krishna is saying, I don't leave them. I perpetually cast them. Prabhupada puts the word perpetually here. I perpetually cast them. That means for them there is no way they can be free. They cannot get out of this cycle of birth and death, material existence, into various demonic species of life. So birth after birth remain in the demonic species of life. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 3rd canto, it is stated that an individual soul after his death is put in the womb of the mother, where he gets a particular type of body under the supervision of the superior power. Karmana deva netrena jantu dehe uppatteya striya pravishta udram. Yeah, that is the verse. Karmana deva netrena. So what is the criteria for deciding the next birth? It is karmana. Karmana means one's activity, one's action, according to his karma. And karma deva netrena. And also under the authority of the superior personalities, the demigods. Karmana deva netrena jantu deha uppatte. Deha means the body. Uppatte means take birth. Striya pravishta udaram. And how he has to take birth? He has to come from the womb of his mother. Therefore, in the material existence, we find so many species of life, animals, insect, man, and so on. All are arranged by the superior power. They are not accidental. For the demoniac, it is clearly said here that they are perpetually put into the womb of demons, and thus they continue to be envious, the lowest of mankind. Such demonic species of men are held to be always full of lust. We were discussing in the 3rd chapter, Krishna is saying, this world is Maithunagar. And why this lust is? What is lust? Who remembers? What is the lust? Why lust inflicts the living entity? बोलो इतना डिस्कशन किया हमने. Yes, there shall go.
Prabhuji, any desire to enjoy separately from Lord Krishna?
I'm not asking what is lust. I'm asking why lust is inflicted.
From the contact of mode of passion.
No, that is there. It is born from the mode of passion. But why? Why at all this lust is there, which is the most formidable enemy of the living entity?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
It covers our knowledge, Prabhuji.
That is true. But why one is influenced by lust?
Prabhuji, because of desires.
You people have not studied or not hearing properly. Prabhupada says, in the ordinary prison house, criminals are kept with bars. I emphasize so much on this, but we don't remember because lust will not allow us to accept. Similarly, the criminals who are disobedient to the laws of the Lord are shackled by sex life or lust. To the degree we are disobedient to the rules and regulations, to the authority of the law, to the extent we are independent, to that extent lust will influence us. And as I discussed, we cannot find any remedy of lust. Can we go to the doctor, the specialist, super specialist? You take any amount and free me from lust. So this is punishment. So Krishna is saying that I will perpetually cast them in such bodies, in such species, where they will always be lusty. Yeah, such demoniac species of men are held to be always full of lust, always violent and hateful and always unclean. The one simple way to get out of the demonic propensity is remain very clean. But however I may say, whatever the scriptures will say, you see the new generation, they are so unclean. They're so pathetic. They don't shave. They don't want to take bath. So Prabhupada is explaining here, always full of lust, always violent, hateful, and always unclean. So what is simple to change here? Can we change lust? Can we change our anger? Can we change our tendencies? But we can change. From unclean, we become clean. Every day, take bath at least 2 times. Change every day, change your clothes. Keep your places very clean. Keep, so many times I have said, keep few things and only the essential thing. Everything else is a garbage. Don't dump yourself in garbage. Become detached. See, this is the difference between demoniac and divine. Demoniac, he has many possessions. He will have a big house, but his house is full. Filled with what? All dirt. The many kinds of hunters in the jungles are considered to belong to the demonic species of life. And Krishna said, I'll take the next verse also. Krishna is not leaving them. Krishna is so kind. Krishna says that Suhidam Sarva Bhutanam. He is the most well-wishing friend of all. But see what he is saying. Previously in the 19th verse, he said that I will cast them perpetually in the demonic species. And now what he is saying in the 20th verse, Asirim yoni mapanna mudha janmani janmani mam aprape vakonteya tatoyanti adamam gati. So Asuri yonim apanna. Again and again I will push them to remain in that demonic species of life. Why? Krishna is saying the Buddha is foolish. And he is foolish not only in this life, Janmani. Life after life, he remains the same fool. And he cannot attain me. Mam aprape vakonteya. Such persons can never approach me. This is what Krishna has already said in the 7th chapter. 4 kinds of people who cannot approach me. And what will be their destination then? What will be their result? Krishna is saying, Tato yanti adhamam gati. They will glide down or they will sink down to the most abominable type of existence. So dangerous. They are condemned by the Supreme Lord himself. Krishna is saying that I will not spare them. I will punish them. So don't think that if we do not follow, if we are little disobedient, अरे क्या हो गया? एक दिन मैंने प्रसाद नहीं खाया तो क्या हो गया? एक दिन मैं सुबह नहीं उठा तो क्या हो गया? एक दिन मैंने जप नहीं किया तो क्या हो गया? देखो क्या होगा. कृष्ण बोल रहे हैं बूढ़ा जन्मनी. Very important, we should have our sadhana card. The criteria for at least initiation is strictly for 2 years one should be having his daily sadhana card. Otherwise what you will do? You will do offense against your guru. You will do offense against Vaishnavas and glide down to hell. So training is required. Change is required. And we should change. When we will change? Now. If now, then it is never. So these devotees who got initiated, they are very sincere. Every day they send me sadhana card. And why? Because accountability makes a person become little fearful. You understand this? If you are accountable to someone, then you are fearful. And then there is protection also. You will not fall. And those who are unaccountable, then there is free fall. Already fallen. Very dangerous. Very, very dangerous, precarious position. Again and again, one has to glide. So don't think that what Krishna is speaking is not true. How they will become? Again in the next life, they will remain the same. They will not change. So it is a great privilege for us, a great opportunity, a great boon that Srila Prabhupada created this society ISKCON. And he gave us the 4 regulative principles. He gave us the scriptures of Bhagavad-Gītā and Srimad Bhagavatam. But we should never ever feel कि मेरे पास सुनने के लिए time नहीं है, मेरे पास पढ़ने के लिए time नहीं. That means we are already fallen. We have already fallen from the position. And even after getting opportunity, then we fall. Then we, then we it is justified to be punished. Okay, we will discuss this. Hopefully within 2 sessions this will be over, will be completed. Not many verses, couple of more verses till 24. Any question or any discussion, although it is late, but it is relevant because we did not did this kind of discussion so far in this chapter. Shiva should go in our spine. Shiva should go in our heart. But what will be the result if I fail to follow? बोलिए, डराने के लिए नहीं है. कृष्ण समझा रहे हैं. Krishna is explaining. Krishna is giving both the scenarios. If you perform devotional service, as he is explaining in the 12th chapter, that he will become the swift deliverer. And those who do not follow, then they will glide down to the abominable species of life, demonic species of life. They will repeatedly remain in the same situation. बोलिए, कोई क्वेश्चन है तो डिस्कस करें, नहीं तो बंद करें. Yes, bro. Manoram Jagannath.
Prabhuji, one point was there you asked Prabhuji, but I could not relate also, that how the demoniac person's present life remains hellish, Prabhuji. That point, little clarification.
Yeah. Okay, someone can answer. It is there in the verse itself. How their present life is hellish. बोलिए, someone. No one. Mohajal. Mohajal. They are already. Is your internet working, Manoram Prabhu? Are you able to hear?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, I can hear. Yes.
Because they are caught in the network of illusion. And they are already making settlement for gliding down to hellish life. You see all the asuras, in spite of having such power, in spite of having such position, such opulence, what was their life? Were they able to enjoy? Was Duryodhana able to enjoy? Even if he kicked out the Pandavas by false means to be in exile, but was he able to enjoy? Because in his heart, he had so much of enmity. He was always planning how he could kill the Pandavas. Was Hiranyakashipu able to enjoy? He was always thinking, why Prahlad is not agreeing with me? Why he is not becoming submissive to me? What strength he has that he can oppose me? Their life is always burning by enmity, by pride, by lust, by enviousness. And you see today's scenario, It is already hellish life. There is no cordial relationship between any two persons. So what is this? Is it not hellish life? Prabhupada is saying here. You see in the purport. There are many demonic persons and each is enemy to the others. The enmity becomes more and more deep between persons, then between families, then between societies, and last between nations. Therefore, there is constant strife, war and enmity all over the world. What is this? Is it paradise or hellish life? There is constant strife, war and enmity all over the world. The demoniac life means only suffering. But the problem is that they cannot even accept or recognize that to what extent they are suffering. They are still thinking that they can become happy. Does it address?
Yes, Prabhuji, yes.
Very dangerous, very, very dangerous. Previously also I was thinking Krishna is so kind. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu is Dina Bandhu Jagat Pate. But for demoniac, he is strict. Those who do not follow, then he does not spare them. Clearly is this 19th and 20th verse, how Krishna responds or reacts to them, those who are demonic. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavad-Gītā ki jai. In Srimad Bhagavatam also we are discussing so many purports we are really relishing. More than 2 hours in the morning and more than 2 hours in the evening. Around 35 brahmachari devotees. And there is a deep discussion on Bhagavatam. Of course, every Bhagavatam Prabhupada's purport is embellished by Srimad Bhagavad-Gītā. When you will come in Srimad Bhagavatam, you will be stunned. Every purport of Prabhupada gives the principle from Bhagavad-Gītā. So that is why we have to be very thorough in Bhagavad-Gītā. We should have studied Bhagavad-Gītā at least 10 to 20 times. Then we can enter Bhagavatam. And then we can really relish Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is Amrit Drav Samhita. It is Amrita. It is Amrit to whom? Those who know the principles. Principles are here being explained by Krishna. Very, very important principle Krishna is explaining. That those who are not submissive, those who are not following, those who are not accepting the authority of scriptures, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, His representative, what will be their destination? So when our mind is troubling us, so we should make the mind hear and read this part of Bhagavad-Gītā. And then you can see how clearly the mind is our enemy. It is not our friend. Who is forcing us to withdraw from the process of devotional practice. And we will discuss tomorrow. Continue to discuss tomorrow. We'll try to complete the Bhagavad-Gītā, not leave it. Complete it at least the 18th chapter. Before the Purushottam months come. We started in Purushottam month. So before the Purushottam months come, we should try and at least one time study should be over. Thank you. Hare Krishna.